Hey, what's up, friends? Eric Crumbaker coming at you from Real Estate and Shit number 7. Can't wait to host this podcast with you. Thanks for tuning in. First and foremost, be sure to subscribe below. Also, leave some comments, good, bad, or ugly. We do not care. Leave your thoughts. So today, we got some really cool topics to go over today and have two beautiful guests. So before I even get into the topics, let's introduce our guests for today. So we actually have a new guest joining us this afternoon. We have the beautiful and amazing Keri White. Hey, Keri White, how are you today?
Hey, guys. I'm here with the beautiful Lewis, though. Don't forget about him.
We got Lewis Hamilton. He's incognito. You can't really see him. He's camouflaged.
We put him to bed.
He's becoming a regular, I think.
He is becoming a regular.
Yeah.
You guys, if
So
you guys haven't noticed, he's been sitting there between the guests. But yes, Keri, thank you for joining. And then, we always have the beautiful Sadie.
Yay!
Hey, Sadie, how are you today?
I'm great. I wasn't here last week.
You
I
weren't
was
here
so
last
sad.
week.
I
What
know.
happened last week?
My brother got married.
Ah,
So that's great. I mean,
congratulations. It's always nice to see more weddings.
yes,
Mazel tov,
it
we
was
say
a great
that.
wedding. So good time.
Glad to have
Good
you back.
time.
We missed you.
I missed you guys too.
I know
and now I
you
get
did.
Keri.
And now you're
And now you
fully
have
recovered.
Keri, so there's gonna be a lot of shit in this podcast.
I'm
So
excited.
you guys get ready.
I'm an angel.
It's funny, before we podcast right now as we're doing this, if you guys were to actually look on the other direction, we're having a huge grand opening today. It is our launch party for our new brokerage, Human Element Real Estate. You guys will be seeing this late, but if you had a chance to come to this event tonight, you guys will enjoy yourselves. But we've been running around with our heads cut off, so I'm just so happy we were able to get in here and film. So
You're still podcasting on the day of your
I
brokerage
know.
grand
that's called
opening.
commitment, right?
It is.
It's called Shit Don't Stop.
Yep, do the work, have the
Yeah.
power. Nothing stops us. So I love it. So let's further ado. You guys want to jump right into this real estate and shit today?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So I sourced some really good articles lately. As we all know, we're in a very different type of market shift that we haven't experienced in decades, and interest rates have risen to 7%. There's all kinds of articles. The sky's falling. As we know, as being real estate agents, there's so much opportunity to be had out there. So that's our job, to go through these articles and explain to you, the consumer, the viewer, what's really behind these articles, the truth, the fluff, and to give you guys clarity. So when you guys are out making decisions or trying to talk about what's going on in real estate, you guys have a much better understanding of how you can host these conversations. So we're going to get right into it. This first article I have, it actually came from Inman. Inman puts out some amazing articles, and this one is actually headline. It says, mortgage rates haven't been this chaotic since Black Monday. It says, Keri and Sadie, a buyer looking at a $500,000 house in July would have seen their potential monthly payment fall by $177 in August, then rise $328 according to Redfin. Says mortgage rates haven't been this erratic since the early 1980s, which is a long time. Who was alive before the 1980s? None of us. Making it that much trickier for home buyers to set a plan and stick to it, says the new analysis. Rates underwent more volatility during the 3-month window ending September 22nd than any 3-month period dating back to the time of Black Monday, when it crashed back in 1987, according to Redfin. Think about that. They haven't seen these numbers since the Black Friday crash of 1987, when none of us were alive. What are your thoughts?
Actually alive. 7.
Oh, yeah, you were. Wait, never mind.
Were you alive? Did you forget what year you were born?
Yeah, I was thinking 78. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. You had a
Weird.
little flip-flop.
I did. I had a
Yeah,
87,
happens.
78, dyslexic.
Sometimes I think I was born in 59, so it's just flip them.
Wow, you definitely were not born in 59, Sadie.
Really good Botox.
Really good Botox.
So,
Who doesn't love a good headline? Like, what else are people going to talk about, right? If they can't talk about the housing market.
true. Well, there's a lot. Yeah, no, it's true.
Who's a real estate agent out there? Anybody you meet, even if it's like your ex from 30 years ago tried to stab you, you'd be like, I got in real estate. How's the market? Tell me about the market.
It's true.
It's something to talk about, right?
It is something to talk about. What do you think about this stat, though? We haven't seen this type of interest rate rise and volatility in the market since 1987.
It's true. Well, in all reality, they're trying to change this nutso market we've been in with appreciation, 43% increases since the pandemic. That's just not obviously sustainable is the hot topic word, right?
Yeah, true.
So instead of looking at policies like building and government and how you can influence your community to allow for more affordable housing, they just slap on interest rates to make them higher and higher so people have a harder time affording things.
Correct.
Now, the problem is that this impacts really the lower middle class more so than the middle to upper middle class.
Well, they have more money.
They have more money, so a mortgage rate, if their payments are different by $400, $500, $600 a month, they're not as impacted as, say, middle America. So in all reality, the government, by raising the rate to stop home price appreciation, they're kind of just putting this big wedge between us. Is that too
No, that's perfect. It's funny you say that,
No,
Keri.
that's great.
Too big, brother.
It's funny that you said that because I have a stat that might interest you on that statement of yours, because you're right. The upper to higher class, it's a lot. This shift with the economy is hitting them a lot less than it is in the lower to middle income bracket. And I have a stat that I pulled up yesterday. 35% of all homes purchased right now are all cash. That's a big percentage that actually goes into property right now. I mean, 35% of all transactions are all cash. So people have money, and usually the people who have the money are the upper class. So like Keri said, she works in LA, Brentwood, Beverly Hills, and her clients, they don't necessarily need loans because they have the money to buy cash. So the 7% doesn't really hurt them as much as it does everybody else. So it's really interesting. And it's funny, this article goes on to say, it says the challenges home buyers face in today's market go beyond the dwindling affordability caused by high mortgage rates and home prices, said Redfin Deputy Chief Economist Taylor Marr. The whiplash in mortgage rates between when home buyers set their budget and when they make an offer is also making it extraordinarily difficult to plan ahead, which makes a lot of sense. And I actually have this graph here I'll have Brian put up for you guys when you guys watch this.
Thanks, Brian.
The last time I'm looking at this graph right now, mortgage rates have been so low since really 2010, and they have not spiked like I'm looking at this graph from Redfin since 1987. So it's very interesting to see this spike on this chart. And it says the impact is even more evident when viewed through the lens of a single home buyer's choice. Redfin's report details the case of hypothetical buyer in July who is casually scrolling through listings at $500,000. By the time this buyer has an agent and is ready to start offering on homes in August, their potential mortgage payment has dropped $177 per month as rates fall below 5%. But this mid-September, when this hypothetical buyer actually secures financing, that monthly payment has rebounded to $328 from its August lows as rates race back to 6%. So think about that, Keri and Sadie. Imagine if you got locked in, you're looking at property, you saw a home that you liked, your wife, you've got a baby, you need to move up, and you got locked in, you couldn't find the property, but you're still looking, you're at $177 per month, and all of a sudden you look back and you're like, wait, I have to pay $328? That's double than what you had 2 months ago. How do you cope with that?
Well, of course, looking at my wife and my baby, as you mentioned, I would be very concerned.
True.
A lot of people can't even do A lot of the people can't even do this as a single person, let alone supporting a family.
It's true.
But I'm a very resourceful person, so I would look at different loan options. I mean, not speak to what people are facing because it is very impactful. Even looking at $1,000 difference a month is huge. If
Correct.
You're looking like the 1.4 to 1.6 price point.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference. But I would go and look at different types of loans. The average homeowner, they used to be in their home 5 to 7 years, but now they're in their home, I believe, 7 to 11 years. So looking at a 5, 7, or 10-year ARM, which is an adjustable rate mortgage, is the smart way to go because those are still in the 4.5 to 5 range.
Yeah.
So, it's funny if you're looking at a couple and the husband's like, yeah, let's just do that 10-year ARM. That's great. And the wife's like, no, let's do a 30. Like, let's do a 10. You're like, is this about their marriage or about their home price? Right? But
30.
They're right. 30. I mean, the average, especially if you have a baby, then you're probably going to be moving into a different house.
Correct.
But, people look at a house like they're going to be there forever, and most people are not. Of course, we're all like moving out of our parents' houses or helping them move out of their houses that have been there since we were babies. But at one point, it's a different generation than our parents grew up in.
No, I agree.
We move a lot.
Let me throw this question at Sadie. Sadie, let's say you qualified for a loan at $148 a month. It turns to $327 a month.
Shit.
You know, like, are you buying that property still? Are you pulling out of that property since the rates went up? Are you trying to scrounge money together to make it work? Like, where's your mind if this happened to you?
Well, my mind is, I don't know if I saw one of you guys post this or something. I don't remember where I saw it. Maybe it was in a dream. I feel like I dream about real estate now.
Okay.
It's
a good thing.
Maybe you said this at the meeting. I don't know. I'm really giving anticipation. Whenever you buy property, you're only gonna gain on property. So if I was able to afford the $328 or whatever it is, I'm smart enough, and I would hope my agent is smart enough to tell me that you're only going to make more money. So you're investing in something and you're going to keep growing your money. You're not going to go back. It's not going to be like 07, 08, 09, which I barely remember, but we talk about a lot. And so if I can afford it, I'm buying it. If I can afford a house right now and they're like, you're going to have to pay double, that's fine. I'll pay double. If I can afford it, I want to do it because it's only going to appreciate in value.
I agree. And I think
I'm also in a situation. I'm not, that doesn't speak for, like, plenty of people can't even get close to that, but
I agree.
You know what I mean? You know, it depends on where you're at.
And I think what I mentioned, and it might have been in the team meeting, whether you're paying double or not, that money is your money. You know, you're not paying your landlord. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you pay double. Okay, you're paying yourself double. You know, that's the way I look at it.
You're not literally throwing it at rent that you're never going to get back.
Like the money, it's your money. You're putting the money into your house. It's your property. It's your piggy bank. So I'm okay with higher rates because, again, you have a professional here like Keri talked about different arms, and then you can refinance it in later date. Yep. But what I think people are really not understanding here, and it's really blows my mind away, is 6 months ago, it was like, I don't want to buy because there's too many people out there. I'm going to walk away. There's 50 offers, and I don't want to pay $300,000 over. It's just doesn't fit my book. Now the same people are thinking, oh my God, I don't want to pay this rate. It's like, you can't win in this world. You just have to make up a decision and go. Things will never be perfect. Things will never be right. You have to take it and move on and go forward.
The grass is always greener.
Always
greener.
But it's not really.
It's
not though.
It's green where you water it.
That is it. It is green where you water it. Not enough people water their lawn.
It can't be watered because of water conservation. So the grass isn't greener anywhere.
I agree.
It's all unless you have turf.
unless you have turf.
No, but it's true. I mean, I did a reel recently about bitching or buying because people are either buyers or they're bitching about it. And I mean,
it's
for
true.
real estate agents out there, I mean, if you're looking at your clientele that you're working with, you can go back and forth all day long with articles and opinions and debates about like whether they should buy now or rent or wait or the market crashing. Or you can just move your focus to the buyers who are buying.
Correct.
Which are bitching or buying. And some of them just bitch and buy. But for the most part, people are either in or they're out. And whether the rate's at 3% or 7% or whether the house is going for $1 million or $500,000 over, they appreciate over time. It's a lifestyle. It's a sense of coming home to something. It's not paying somebody else's mortgage. And that's what people have lost sight of.
Yeah, that's Chris's biggest thing too. He's like, it's about quality of life. He always brings that up.
It blows my mind. I just thought about it right now. I had this crazy epiphany as you were speaking. This kind of like compares to the fact that when you're in high school and in college, they don't teach you how to balance your checkbook. They don't teach you how to manage a bank account. They don't teach you how to live in the real world. Nor do they teach you the benefits of owning a property. Exactly. All they tell you is you need to put 20% down, and it's the hardest thing you're going to do, but it's the best thing you'll ever do, and they don't tell you how to do it. This blows my mind away. I mean, in all reality, I feel like if we had a seminar and we spoke with 100 people, we can convince 100 people why now is a great time to buy based on the conditions that they see versus what they're actually thinking they're ingesting.
Yeah, and I also think people buy and sell when it's right for them in their life, and
True.
Timing the market doesn't work.
It's like timing the stock market. You can't time the stock market.
Going to the casino and betting on black or red,
you can't.
You can't.
I agree.
You win when you want to win.
You know what? I'm gonna phrase that. You win when you want to win, and carry that.
Put it behind us.
Great quote.
All I do is win.
So I'm gonna move on. Okay. I'm gonna go down a couple articles. This next headline, Keri and Sadie, this is a good one, and it kind of spills into what we just spoke about. It says buyer's market now expected to end. Sorry, we have to recut that. It says buyer's market now expected by end of 2023. Economists predict. So pretty much it's saying they're expecting a buyer's market to hit by 2023. It says a majority of experts on a panel of 107 surveyed by Zillow agreed. 107 people they surveyed on this agreed that rising mortgage rates are driving down competition among buyers, which is good.
Great.
Which will eventually result in a buyer's market. So it says home sellers should prepare for the housing market to swing firmly in the favor of buyers before the end of 2023. You hear that? You heard that, sellers. According to the panel of 107 economists and housing experts, that's a lot of economists and experts, says the majority of experts on the panel surveyed by Zillow agreed that rising mortgage rates are driving down competition among homebuyers, which will eventually result in a buyer's market taking a firm by the end of next year. The panel also observed that home prices appreciation is slowing as a result of high mortgage rates, and it's predicted that rental price growth will come to outpace inflation as potential home buyer priced out of home ownership exert more pressure on the rental market.
I mean, that is horribly scary.
Horribly scary. I'm going to read that again.
Yeah.
Says the panel also observed that home price appreciation is slowing as a result of home mortgage rates.
The next part.
And it predicted that rental price growth will come to outpace inflation as potential home buyers priced out home ownership exert more pressure on rental market.
Great.
Just, yeah.
Okay, all right. We're just going to flip and flop forever. This is life. Like, we're going to pay a lot in rent, and then we're going to get better rates, and then we're going to pay more. And like, it's supply and demand. Like, we did learn about this in high school, economics.
I agree.
Shout out to Mr. C. Yeah, supply and demand.
Hey, Mr. C.
I agree.
The guy.
And it actually goes on to say, it says, after the frantic rush for real estate over the past 2 years, buyers are finally seeing a calmer market, which we've all been talking about, which is freaking amazing. Those still able to afford home ownership are quickly regaining lost leverage, but this shift is more balanced market and is still in its early stages. Home shoppers priced out of the market are in a tight spot, though, as high and rising rents could cut further into their ability to save up for a down payment. Says, this is a big one. 56% of the panel expected a significant shift in buyers' favor sometime this next year. 24% predicted that the shift would come in 2024. 13% expected it to come in 2025. 8% expected it to come after 2025. So if I'm reading between the lines, this is like a multi-year thing is what they're predicting right now. It says while the market has cooled, it's still far from where the pre-pandemic. According to Zillow's most recent market report, the typical listings time on the market while rising is still 11 days shorter than it was in 2019. While inventory is ticking up, it remains 42% lower than it was in 2019. Very interesting.
Oh, I didn't know you were done.
No. I actually, I am not done.
Okay. I was like, if you want to hear mine,
I just thought that was very interesting. Well, no, I want to know what your opinions are on that.
What, like the first, second, or third part?
Any of it.
Well, they're just basically saying like, okay, all these experts are spreading it out over a course of years, so they're trying to say, okay, the housing situation might be a little fucked for a little while, but when is it? We're allowed to say bad words. I was like, wait.
This is real estate and shit.
But I don't swear.
But yeah, me either. But like, when has it not been fucked?
Isn't that the
really
truth?
Thinking about it,
Except
for the last 2
agree.
years.
Yeah,
it's all you have to navigate it.
All these predictions, Zillow re-predicted their thoughts like 4 times this year. It was
it's
like
true.
an article every single time. Oh, it's going to be up 12%. Now it's going to be up 2%. Now it's going to be up 18%. Now it's 10%. It's like, okay, who cares about these predictions? Nobody's looking at supply and demand being the issue.
That is the main
California,
bingo.
Yeah, 4 times the amount of people moving out of California need to move out to actually level the housing market. And I was like, everyone's leaving California. It is funny. I met someone the other day like, oh, moving from Atlanta. And I was like, one more time? Where? To here? LA? Is that real? Okay. Yeah, we'll let you in.
We'll let you in.
Come on in.
That's good.
You're an anomaly.
This next part goes for you, the home buyer. Potential home buyer, if you are renting right now, pay close attention to this next line. It says the panel has predicted annual rent growth of 5.4% throughout 2023, lower than the 8% annual rent growth predicted by the end of 2022. All 107 respondents predicted home price depreciation during 2023. So the way I'm hearing this, again, reading through the lines, is rents are going up, home prices are going down.
How does that make any sense?
I don't know how that makes sense, but if I'm a buyer, all I'm doing right now is creating a game plan, how to get out of rent, and how I can find some type of assistance for a down payment that I can even pay back on a loan to this individual person, parents, whatever it may be, bank, and still be able to purchase.
Yeah.
So I'd be coming up with a plan knowing that I don't want my rent to go up 5% this year.
Heck no.
Well, I think what Keri said earlier was really important. Like knowing, you're welcome. Everything you say is important.
Same.
But in context to this, the whole knowing different types of loans, how much you have to put down. People my age have no idea how much you have to put down.
I know, it's crazy.
They're like, I don't have $400,000 to put down. I'm like, where the hell?
Need it.
Why do you need that?
Why do you need that?
Let's go to Vegas.
What? Pay off your college. What is going on?
Right. Less is more.
I think
True.
less is more, and also knowing your options and.
Knowing your options. Talking to a real estate agent, talking to a mortgage originator,
and
really
all
figuring out what you need to do.
Yeah. I understand it's scary as a just regular Joe home buyer, not knowing all those things. You may not always ask, right?
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't know and you want to buy or you're thinking about buying in the next couple of years, I'm going to recommend speak with somebody. This is not something you want to have hidden in your closet as a thought. You want to bring this out to expose what you want to do, your intentions are. So talk to a real estate agent, talk to a mortgage lender.
I recommend buy everything.
Buy everything. I mean, we're looking ourselves. We always feel like buying's always. I agree.
Oh my God, these people I know with so much money, all these properties that they have accumulated over the years, and then they pass away, and all their children are just like buying yachts and just going.
Are they adopting?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, I mean, real estate always appreciates over time, and if you get into a mortgage that you can afford at least for the foreseeable crash, so they say, like, what's the non-benefit to that, right? If
I agree.
You're renting 5% higher, just in a mortgage, you're happy.
In all reality, I think
down,
people just need to figure out down payment assistance, whether it be their down payment, assistance from the bank, assistance from relative. Once you figure that down payment out, and you don't even need 20%, you can actually go as low as 5 or an FHA at 3.5, and you can still get into properties. So definitely reach out to somebody and create some clarity for yourself.
And there's also the silver tsunami of equity. The bank of mom, dad, uncle, aunt, grandparent.
Exactly.
And, it might be nice to put together a little economic plan and present to them because so many people, baby boomer kids, like all of us, we're the millennials, even though we're like on the older side, we're still millennials.
We are.
You're super millennial. Super.
I'm millennial. We're like a good little gap.
Yeah,
we are.
Right.
Perfect gap.
That's crazy. Yeah. Perfect gap. But there's so much wealth in real estate right now from people who have been in their home so long. Like the percentages, like 80% of people have more than 20% equity in their home. So even doing a line of credit, HELOC,
many different ways. Because
to help others.
And they probably don't even know they even have those options as well.
Right, exactly. And it's a way to give
Sadie,
back.
We're talking to you.
I'm just thinking like, all right, how much are we going to sell my parents' house for when they move to their compound that they're going to build in Wickenburg?
Oh, Wickenburg.
And how much of that can I try to snag?
Not snag.
No, not snag.
This is for the investment of your career and your wealth and your life.
And they love my dog.
That's why they had you,
Sadie. Yeah. Oh, I already know that I'm the person who is going to be putting that in my home or in a home. Yeah. It's done.
I love
the executor of all this.
I know you are. I know. You're the executor here, too.
There's options out there to transfer this generational wealth.
I agree. Help out the next future.
And you know what? If your parents or your relatives don't have a lot of money, find your friend who has the most money with the nicest parents.
Find the guy with the yacht.
Right? Yeah. Take them some cookies or some gin, whatever. It's all about who you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I also agree. Okay, moving on. Next article. We have 2 left. Here we go. It says this is the headline, which is kind of nice. It says the true strength of homeowners today. And this is a KCM article I pulled from KCM. Says the real estate market is on just about everyone's mind these days. That's because the unsustainable market of the past 2 years is behind us, and the difference is being felt. The question now is, Sadie and Keri, how financially strong are homeowners through the country? And we just kind of touched on this. Mortgage debt grew beyond $10 trillion over the past year, and many call that a troubling sign when it happened for the first time in history. It says U.S. households own $41 trillion in owner-occupied real estate, just over $12 trillion in debt, and remaining $29 trillion in equity. The national LTV in Q2 2022 was 29.5%, the lowest since 1983. Homeowners had an average of $320,000 in inflation-adjusted equity in their homes in Q2 of 2022, an all-time high. And then it says, what is LTV? LTV refers to the loan-to-value ratio. For context, it says your loan-to-value ratio compares the size of your mortgage loan to the value of the home. For example, if your home is worth $200,000 and you have a mortgage of $180,000, your loan-to-value ratio is 90%. Because the loan makes up 90% of the total price. You can think about LTV in terms of your own down payment. If you put down 20%, that means you are borrowing 80% of the home's value, so your LTV ratio is 80%. They say, why is this important, Keri, Sadie? This is yet another reason we won't see housing market crash, they say. Home equity allows homeowners to be in control. For example, if someone did need to sell their home, they likely have the equity they need to be able to sell it and still put money in their pocket. This was not the case in 2008 when many owed more on their home than the home was actually worth. It says bottom line here is homeowners today have more financial strength than they had since 1983, the year I was born. This is a combination of how owners have handled equity since the crash and rising home prices in the last 2 years. And yet, this is another reason home ownership in any market makes sense. Wow, KCM, what a great article. I love the data. I love everything to support the article, and I couldn't commend this article more. It is so much truth in it. We've been saying this since day one. There's so much equity in the homeowners that own property these days. The crash from 2008 cannot happen. It's just impossible because people actually have equity in their home. So if they needed to sell, they could and still have money in their pockets.
Deep breath.
Thoughts?
Woo. Well,
I know. This gets my blood flowing because we know the truth. We know what people need, and it's our job to give them the information.
And that's David Childers. He gets my blood going too. I love
Same.
him. That's my man.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw him at Tom Ferry, and I couldn't even say hi to him. I was like, I couldn't. If I wanted to, I couldn't.
Got a crush.
Oh my!
I like it.
Did you watch our webinar, me and Childers?
Are you?
Yeah, they're on webinars together now.
I'm sorry,
Private.
I can't keep.
It was a private.
Oh, it's a private
It's
one.
me and him, and we got a little private session to rehearse.
Shut up. Can I be
Zoom.
in there? Can I?
Hey, Childers, can we get an invite?
Yeah. Give me that
I'm so
Zoom
lucky.
link.
I'm
I'm just
Dave
gonna-
Childers is literally like the best. Such a wealth of knowledge. It is just amazing. By the way,
love him.
Shout out KCM.
Shout out KCM.
My fave over there. It's a spammers. Don't worry.
I just want to say, I could just hear that in my headphones, so I was like, I gotta move it.
I'm so sorry.
I just want to say for anyone who's not in real estate and who's my age and who's like, what the hell did he just say? Basically, what it means is that.
I like this.
Well, no, just because I'm the shit part, so I gotta make sure everyone
I
who's
don't
like,
even know what's
what the
confusing.
Yeah,
can't wait
no,
to
I
hear
get
this.
Loan to value, like he said, is confusing me.
It's like Succession.
There's more money in equity than there is in money loaned to people.
I got more confused.
So that might make sense to people.
Oh, okay, good.
I think it might make sense. So
Young millennial.
more people have money in their homes than people have in debt. So
Correct.
when you think of like 2008, everyone was saying, for people who are my age, were like, what happened? Everyone was crying and we lost our house.
We were 15.
Yeah, I think I was like, anyway, we're not going to go there. I think I was like 9. But moral of the story is that there's more equity than there is debt. That's the whole thing.
I agree.
That's like the scary part.
And the thing is, like, if you're putting 10 or 20% or even 30% down in your home, the national increase in price was 43% since the beginning of the pandemic. So 43% plus 10 plus 20, like your house is now 63%
Yeah,
equity.
people need to start putting this math
And the
together.
market's going to go down maybe 10%.
That's what people are forgetting. It's this math. No one understands how to put all this math.
Like, thank God it's going to go down 10%. It doesn't mean shit on your loan anymore, your
I
monthly
agree.
mortgage, because mortgage rates have gone up, and you also have a ton of equity anyway. So could everybody just stop? Can we just, like, talk about something else, right?
No, I want to
Buy
continue
houses.
to talk about this. Continue to buy because buying's
Makes
good.
so much sense to me.
All right,
They love
so
the drama. That's
we're
fine.
gonna
drama.
switch the topics of this home buying, and actually this is kind of geared towards Keri because I want your information and knowledge on this, and Sadie can chime in as well if you have any information on it. But my last topic is this, Keri. So this came from Inman, and it says NAR asked the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn pocket listing ruling. Says an appeals court allowed the PLS case against the Clear Corporation policy to proceed in April, but NAR hopes to review the nation's highest court will change that. So it says the National Association of Realtors is looking to the highest court in the land to overturn the appeals ruling, allowing an antitrust case over the trade group's pocket listing to continue. On September 23rd, NAR and 3 other of the largest multiple listing services in the nation, California, MLS, and MRED, and a couple others, filed a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court known as the writ of, I can't even pronounce it, Satori, asking the court to review a ruling by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals made in April. That ruling allowed the case filed by former pocket listing service PLS to proceed, overturning a lower court decision. The suit alleges the defendants had violated the federal Sherman Antitrust Act of California's Cartwright Act for adopting the clear cooperation policy, which requires listing brokers to submit a listing to their MLS within 1 business day of marketing a property to the public. The policy had attracted the attention of the U.S. Department of Justice, which is currently investigating the NAR over this entire thing. The DOJ attorneys also spoke in an oral argument in January. According to the federal government, 4 of the 9 justices in the Supreme Court may vote to accept the case in the court. Blah, blah, blah. The court usually only agrees to hear the case. It says NAR recognizes petition has a small chance of being granted. So, Keri, as I'm trying to go through this, do you know more about this other than I do? Because what I think, what I'm reading is that...
Hold on. I just need to call my lawyer before I answer this. Hold on. Jerry?
You there, Jerry? You know, what this is saying is it says pretty much the MLS requires anyone that has a listing to upload their listing within 24 hours to the MLS for policy and guideline procedures or whatever they have for, you know, whatever law-abiding thing that we do. Well, obviously, this is saying that you can go market the property as an off-market pocket listing as an active listing without having to upload it to MLS, because some people don't want to be on the MLS. If you're a celebrity or you're really wealthy, you do not want people coming to your home. You don't want people to know you're selling. You want to keep that hush-hush. So what are you, being in LA, being in Brentwood, working with these type of clients who you have a lot of off-market clients, how does this affect them, and what do you think about this?
Oh, my gosh. First of all, shout out to Chris Dyson, founder of the PLS at the agency. Good friend of mine, yes. PLS has been amazing pocket listing service, which is now called NLS, National Listing Service.
Correct.
But they have been fighting hard to keep this intact because obviously a big advantage to being a highly networked agent, being in the industry, knowing people, being nice to people, all those things, is that you have a benefit to your clients to be able to help them buy or sell off market, which we do quite a bit of.
Yes, you do.
It's all about word of mouth. We actually have monthly meetings just to talk about this. So NAR came in because, just keep in mind, if you sell a property off the MLS, guess who doesn't make money?
Oh, I know who. Let me guess. Can I have one guess?
The MLS. So they said, no, we don't like this because we want the money. So now
show me the money.
Yeah, show me the money. And when you sell off market, you don't show them the money. So they made it, you know, the Sherman, what is it? Sherman something Act, the Cartwright Act.
Correct. A bunch of acts.
It's a bunch of acts, right? Jerry says it's okay. I talk about it though. Thanks, Jerry. But the point is, it's like the cool kids club. They don't think it's fair to buyers out there to have properties that are not publicly on the market.
Correct.
So they're taking the whole sense of the point of it and making it like a fair thing, when in all reality, people should be allowed to buy and
You're looking out for your
homes.
clients. You're not looking out for the MLS.
Well, right. It's all about money.
Fair.
It's not fair, Sadie. It's called money. It's politics. It's somebody wants to get paid, so they put these things out there so they can stop what's going on, so they get more money in their pocket. But they're not looking out for the best interest of the client or the consumer.
Right. The consumer, not all, a lot of consumers. I've even had people say to me, like, okay, you can do photos, but don't do that virtual tour because I don't want them to like, see what's on my nightstand. And you're like,
bunch of greedy people.
I totally get it. People don't want the inside of their home advertised to everybody. If they can do it privately, they like that. But at the same time, it's not about the cool clubs or being fair. It's just about personal relationships. But the government shouldn't be trying to control what you do with your property or who you sell it to.
I completely agree. Let me ask you a quick question as we kind of dwindle down on time. Keri, so let's say this passes and they actually shut down the PLS. You know, let's say you're Bezos and you're in LA and you want to sell, and you usually do off market, and you have people sign disclosures so no one will ever know that you sold or bought because everyone has to sign NDAs. Let me ask you a question. Are they going to find alternative routes to sell their property? Because you know they're not listing on MLS.
Of course. But here's the reach around to this is that If you don't have it signed,
The reach around.
Yeah, I want to know what's the reach around.
Here's the reach around. If you have a pocket listing that is not a signed listing,
Okay.
you are allowed to share it.
So like
If
sign on
it's-
paperwork.
If it's signed as your listing, but it's a off market, like waiting to go to MLS, then you can get fined up, $1,000 at the first fine. So the whole thing is totally, you know what I mean.
So really, if they ask and they're like, "Hey, this is on the PLS and it's on the MLS," I'd be like, "It's not sign a contract."
Well, what the PLS is changed it to the NLS, meaning it's public facing. So the
Correct.
public can go in, and even if it is a pocket, not on the MLS, it's national. So any buyer out there can get into the cool kids club,
That's
so
cool.
to speak. There's a lot of different
But the
brands.
MLS.
However, yeah, each brokerage is allowed to provide pockets within their brokerage because they are the brokerage.
Yeah.
It's not technically an offense or illegal to put the pocket outside of your company. So that's agents network and whatnot.
Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay.
So what you're saying is, if they got rid of the PLS or NLS or whatever it's called, there's still going to be
There's
the
multiple
same thing's still going
ways.
to happen. It's just
There's
not
a
going
lot
to be
of-
done that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Correct.
different websites, but they can't really regulate if somebody sells their property off market or not.
yeah.
Yes. Well, the PLS helps because you can actually look at, like the MLS, you can look at property that's all
really cool.
off market. So so that would you'd have to figure out that way so people can actually search for property off market. But selling, that'd just not sign the contract. Okay, all right. Well, ladies, I want to say, so we're going to do that one again. All right, ladies, I just want to really say thank you. I'm very grateful that you guys took the time. Keri,
Yes.
thank you so much for driving out today. You guys follow Keri at Keri White on her Instagram. She's on TikTok as well. What are you on Instagram? Keri Ann. Be sure to follow Keri on Instagram. Her Instagram is Keri Ann. Find her on TikTok and YouTube. You can email her at Keri@KeriWhite.com with any questions. This is also Sadie. Sadie, what's your Instagram?
Oh, it's just at Sadie Gribbon.
There you go,
my
at Sadie
name.
Gribbon. And then you guys know me. Follow me, Eric Crumbaker on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and all the platforms.
We don't have an Instagram for him.
So we don't have anything for Lewis Hamilton.
It's
But I do want to say, you guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Again, you know what we do. We sit here and we destroy all the headlines to give you guys full clarity on where the market's trending so you guys can make the right decisions for what's best for your household. Again, my name's Eric Crumbaker. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Leave some comments below. And I will see you guys next week. Cheers.
Bye.